Bringing the vision into a mission. This is Global Mission of Peace with the GoldFish Report on December 29th, 2015. I am Radagast, and I am joined by Louisa, our media outreach.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Sanjay, the wonder from down under.
Hi, all. Miss you all.
And the voice of the dragon, my friend and brother, the ambassador.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the GoldFish Report. And let's start with today's updates. You can start with it, Lisa.
Okay, we just wanted to let everyone know that we appreciate all of your messages that we've received regarding quite a long break in publishing our reports. We have had some issues with our technology and computers which needed upgrading, so we've had servicing done on that so we could continue to produce our GoldFish reports. So we appreciate everyone's concern, and we aren't going to leave you hanging, so we wanted to give you an update today and let you know that we also have lots of other wonderful interviews coming soon. We have Lance White, who has a BBS radio show called The Fireside Chat, and he'll be joining us this Thursday for a GoldFish report. And we really want to start, we're going to have a special GoldFish report that's going to include, our highlights from the reports that we've done so far this year, and also maybe some bloopers, and give our viewers a little inside look on, how we do our report and the silliness sometimes that we have to have in order to kind of get it done, because we have to overcome a lot of obstacles. So we hope that you'll enjoy that compilation when we have that ready. We want to remind our viewers that we publish the research and the news that we report on. We publish updates every day on the GoldFish Report Facebook page. And we also want to announce to all of our viewers that we have the GoldFish Report blog on WordPress, and you can find all those links on the GoldFish Report, and also I'll include them on the description section of this message. So you can follow us at thegoldfishreport.com. You can follow us at our YouTube channel at Global Mission of Peace, and you can also follow us on our Facebook page, the GoldFish Report, and also on our blog. So we really have so many, and honestly, the blog has different kind of information on it than the Facebook page does. So you'll really find much more, I think, far-reaching information, where the Facebook page really focuses more on exposing, getting the truth out, and exposing really the matrix and all the different ways, all the things that are associated with, our enslavement to wake people up. So having said that, we just want to thank our viewers in advance for viewing and for supporting us throughout the year. And we hope everyone had a very festive Christ Consciousness Day, which I kind of coined this, so we can change, because I think the ambassador today is going to start talking about some announcements that happened in the news in the past couple weeks, and one being that the Pope has announced this being our last Christmas. So I thought, since I saw that announcement, we would just celebrate it as Christ Consciousness Day, and we'll see what happens with that. And having said that, I'd like to turn it over to the ambassador, because he has an awful lot to say today. Ambassador?
Yes, good day. Yes, it has been now a few weeks since I was speaking last time with you all, and it has been a lot of travel and a lot of meetings, as well as some issues with health, and also some other issues with technology, as we were saying on some sides of the thing. And we've been extremely busy in doing a shift and changes that we so much need in this world. And some questions that has been coming in about certain things, so I will start addressing them in order. Okay. And I have been a few times in the past, I've been asked to answer if Swiss Indo is the M1, okay, and I explained that situation for the people. And now again, the old kid on the block, has found in the imagination to call himself M or N1, and this is you know, the one and only the leprechaun, Mr. You know, Neil Keenan, and basically he's stating that he is, you know, supposed to be the new M1, and you know, some keepers have selected him to be the L1, and so on and so on. I just want to address this thing very shortly and precise, so that I don't need to repeat myself in the future more with this type of scams and rubbish. Okay. Now, first of all, I would have to agree with the Pope that probably this would be the last Christmas if Neil Keenan would be the M1. Okay. I don't see any reason to this planet to continue in such a low frequency and nonsense if that would be the case. But just in the history, you see Sukarno was acting as M1 during a period of time. No one even know what that was in the normal world, and he didn't go around and state to the world that he is the M1 and he's the M1. After his passing, this knowledge came to pass. Okay, and at one time you had Marcos, who was acting as M1, and same thing with him. He was also a president. Both parties had some form of blood family relationship to the family. And when I say the family, I'm also relating to the dragon family. And then you have the Emperor of Japan that's supposed to be also hold that title, and he's not dead, but you know, then it went over to the acting M1 that is in power today, and he is you know, a person that have not gone to the limelight and claimed I am the M1, I am the M1, or things like this, which is against the protocol. I heard that as an acting M1, Neil Keenan is supposed to put a lien against the feds one more time. And it's very strange for me that why would he do such a thing if he is the acting M1? It is, you need to instruct and then they will do, especially since that's a family institution. So it's very, very much ignorance, you know, baseless retardedness that is being pushed on the innocent, ignorant masses. And for the ones that believe that he's the savior of humanity, please take the next spaceship that comes around and rapture yourself. Okay? But for the people that wants to do something with their lives and continue the struggle against the real problem of the planet, which is the system and the beast, which is 666, I would really recommend you guys to continue to do the hard work, spread the knowledge, continue to watch the GoldFish report, continue to sign up as volunteers to do extra work to change our planets, and continue to do the work for Global Mission of Peace and change this planet as it is. Okay. And I think also it's a very important thing. You know, I have been stating in the past that these sort of things that I don't want to share because it's quite damaging and maybe dangerous for Mr. Keenan, and I have chose not to share it out of his own safety. But when he continues with this nonsense, I think that sooner or later, you know, it needs to be addressed. Okay, if he doesn't come to his senses, I wouldn't be surprised if it's some keepers or some other so-called family people that has taken some money from him to make him some papers. You saw with what is her name, Karen Huger's friend from Germany, who also was supposedly M1 and had something signature from some of the Singaporean keepers, and by that he was the M1 and so on and so on. We've seen it so many times, and I wouldn't be surprised if the scammer himself fall for a scam one more time. And also another interesting thing for the family people that might support him and listen to him and think he's a good guy. My question is, how come could you, whoever was his teacher, allow him to commit a crime against the family regulations by destroying or stealing family assets, even if it was a fake box? So this is something that I want to address to this new information scam that Neil Keenan and his crew have started. And it's, to me, it's laughable. If it would have any basis of reality, which it doesn't, I would myself say, like the Pope said, I think it's the last Christmas. Okay, if the humanity have no better person to handle these things than Neil Keenan, who cannot even handle his own debts and honor his words to his own people, I don't think that we're going to replace Coca-Cola with Coca-Cola Light or even worse. Okay, with Boba Cola or something. Okay, but that's the relationship of Neil Keenan. I hope I'm not going to need to address this character anymore. It's just a waste of time. And so I will move on to something more interesting. We have seen that the Pope was making a statement that he believes that this might be the last Christmas, and he takes the world's situation as an example. And yes, I also am very worried, because when I looked at the presidential wannabes in America, looking to the Republican Party makes me really worried about sanity on this planet. The only thing they're talking about is killing people, basically, and throwing people out of the country, and just based on fear and aggression and anger. And you know, even though I have to agree in some points with Mr. Trump on some particular areas where he actually called the bluff on the media itself, it was very much, I think, good, at least, that they are pressing each other so much that they're actually exposing the propaganda machine which is the United States. And for that, I congratulate them. On the side of Bernie Sanders and Clintons, I really hope that whoever is on that side would choose Bernie Sanders instead of this lady. I don't think that she would be anything that would be also good for us. We need to have leaders around the world that actually care for the people and are there for the people. God has, appointed us to take care of this planet, and I think that we are desperately trying to destroy it, and that needs to cease to exist. It has to stop immediately. I have been stating from the beginning to the cabal that it's time to remit and surrender. And this remit and surrender is not going to be happening like last time for a Second World War, and this time a Third World War. First of all, you guys are broke, and whatever you have to handle back, you should do and fix your audits. Okay? And now it's important for us here to try to help our brothers and sisters of humanity to go back and unite and create a unity between all religions and all, races, based on value-based system and our similarities, not our differences. And I see the anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim hatred blooming over Europe, just like during the time before the Crystal Nights. And I see the same things happening in America. America is turning into a new fascist state, and Europe is turning into a new Soviet Union. And I think it's important, even the Cabal Queen, Queen Elizabeth, was stating that she also believed this might be the last Christmas. So the thing is this way, it's important that all this fear-mongering and threats and traumatization by these wicked, evil people should not be taken on. It might be the cabal's last Christmas, but definitely not the humanity's. And it's important for us here to not empower our governments to aggress any more on other people and ourselves. We need to take back the power, and we need to disable and dismantle all these maniacs all around the world. And yes, we can do it. Okay? And that's a very, very important message here. During these holidays, I've been sitting and reflecting a lot, and I see that it's important, to come and be together, unite and work together to do something positive. I feel that we are wasting too much time on things that we do not need to waste our time on. It's important we come back as families. It's important to us to put effort into protecting our homes and our countries and sanity of its people. And that's why I'm now going to announce that we are going to have love for all and hatred for none day, where we're going to invite religious leaders from all around and people all around to unite and talk about love and and hatred, and basically how a love can overcome all hatred of the planet. And we need to set one day at least where we can just see the love and defeat the hate. And then we can start more and more and more why it comes. I also have received a lot of wonderful invitations from great leaders around the world, which I will address during this year. And I'm going to visit these places, and we're going to continue the work that we need to do to save humanity. And also on the sides of the things that we've been working on, it has been going so well, and we're processing forward so positively. And it's also going to be a video released about that sometime during January month for the whole world to see what has happened, what's going on, like a small documentary from beginning to end. Okay. And very importantly, you know, we do not need an intervention. We can do it ourselves. And this is what Global Mission of Peace is set to do. We're going to do everything by ourselves. And we are not going to misuse or steal or do anything negative by family money. There's so many people otherwise are dreaming, claiming to be proclaimed world leaders. Okay. And I hope that this international networks that has wonderfully been signed between China and many other nations will continue. And I hope that Europe and America will pivot east, and that they will reconciliate with their brothers and sisters all around the world, and that we can work on the unity. And I think that's a very, very important message. Let the Creator fill us with love, respect, and courtesy, and let us not be divided by the shaitan, by differences by religion, culture, and race. Okay? And that's a little bit of my little rant for today. And I hope that I answered some of the questions that has been sent in by so many of you all. And it's going to be nice to go and look back at what happened during this year on the GoldFish report. And I know that there's a lot of very good things coming for the next year. And look forward for happiness, and look forward for a good future, a prosperous future with peace and respect for human nature and for other animals and beings on this planet. Okay, so with that, I want to say God bless you all. And for the next time, keep on praying. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Ambassador. And that was a really wonderful message. And I think that some of our viewers might have a question about one of your statements, uniting the world religions. And I want, although it's an excellent concept, but I don't want people to confuse that with one world religion. Is there a way you can, and I know there's people who may be thinking this, so is there a way you can explain that a little bit?
Yes. Well, this is what I basically stated. I said that we're not uniting the religions. We are wanting the religious dominations to unite by finding common values, okay? That we should meet in peace, in love, in respect, and basically preach what do we have in common through all these religions, and how we can find the things that we do have in common in values, in teachings, and promote that in love so that we can live to coexist. This is not an attempt of trying to create a new one world religion. It's basically try to find one world unity between the religions and respect and courtesy, okay, which we don't find today, because each and every religion claims to be the unique one. It's only them coming to paradise, and rest of all the others going to hell, based on, you know, even the beard or whatever they want to find as an excuse. But this is not what we want to preach. This is not what we want to teach. We want us to sit together and find the values that we all cherish through all different denominational religions that we have, and find unity. And that's basically what I want you to do. And I hope that people will realize that, and this is not a new world religion that might come one day in its own time, but I don't think it's going to happen during one night by trying to convert people with scripture. That's going to happen when people actually live as worshippers and act as worshippers, not as religious bigots and fundamentalists.
Okay, so that's along the lines of our Spiritual Revolution series that we're presenting on the GoldFish Report, where we're having different religious leaders come on and talk about their religion and kind of, I think, some of the maybe misunderstandings of the religion, and how we can find a way to unite them. Because I think some people were, have heard the expression regarding the New World Order, one world religion. So I wanted to make sure that our viewers knew that that's not what we were talking about, that we were talking about, in fact, a spiritual revolution where we're coming together, where we're taking all of the things, as the ambassador said, that we have in common, and we focus on those because, as the ambassador said, it seems like, if we don't, we're not going to have much of a future to look forward to. And I also wanted to just see if Sanjay or Radagast had any comments that they would want to make regarding what the ambassador said before I announce a couple more guests that are going to be coming on. Sanjay?
Yeah, okay. I 100% agree with Ambassador that we should have love for all and hatred for none. And I'm excited that he's announced this, and let's get united from all faiths and religions and followings. And even if you don't have a faith or religion, because love is all. So let's unite in love, and we shall achieve peace, because hatred only achieves war. So let's let go of that, and let's put our demons in the past. What a beautiful time to actually start thinking about this. Even a year is finishing and a new one starting. So let's have hope for the future, right? And I'm glad he addressed what he addressed today with the things, because that's the past that we know of. The future that we know of is about love and unity and prosperity and peace. So thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, brother, for announcing this. And I'd like to pass it back to you, Louisa, so Radagast can...
Thanks, Sanjay. That was beautiful. And Radagast, did you want to make any comments on what the ambassador said?
Just briefly, as an interfaith minister for over 20 years, this has been a big part of why I kind of got involved with being a reverend, and it was to unify as God is one. And so it's really not so hard for the various faiths to get together if we stop comparing faiths and just kind of look to our hearts and look to what we're going to do in the world. And it's kind of like allow us the privacy of our relationship with God that we have in our own heads without questioning it, and don't judge what we think, judge what we do. And if we focus on what we do together, we will probably find endless common ground. If we kind of look at what's going on in our heads, we'll find plenty of things to disagree over. So really to follow our hearts is to follow what we do with each other, and leave our beliefs and about the Creator. Let that be a private matter between us and the Creator, and let's get about the work, because God's hands are on the end of all our arms. And so we have a lot of work to do on this planet with the messages we receive in our hearts, and we don't need to do a belief check to work together.
Thanks, Radagast. That was beautiful as well, and so was the ambassador's message. And I wanted to just announce, as I mentioned before, that we're going to have Lance White, who is a BBS radio host. He hosts the Fireside Chat. He'll be joining us on New Year's Eve. And what's really special about Lance is that he's such a gentle soul, and he has such wonderful guests and has just the most incredible interviews. And just recently interviewed with Mary Rodwell, in fact, and talking about the children of really our future. And I think that might be one of the topics that we talk about when Lance comes on. But it's really going to be a way that we can kind of, the message we're going to be focusing on Thursday is going to be about what is our message for the new year? What can we really focus on, just like the ambassador's saying. So we're going to focus on that. But we're also going to have Winston Trout coming on. A lot of people are familiar with Winston. He has Solutions in Commerce. This is his company. And he's going to explain to us really how the commerce law system works, and really we've presented this topic previously with a few other guests, and it's a big and very complicated topic. And a lot of our viewers have made really wonderful comments about it, and some people have been knowledgeable on it. Some people are just starting to become acquainted with, really, this is the instrument of our enslavement and entrapment, I should say. So we're going to have Winston come on and explain to us a very recent development of four Superior Court judges who recently filed a lien, which is a very specific document, against the American Bar Association and the International Bar Association. And we're going to discuss with Winston what that was about and what the implications of that lien are. We're also going to have on a guest from the Family Civil Liberties Union, which is not a governmental organization, but it's a private nonprofit organization. And it's also going to discuss the way the legal system, at least in the United States, and I'm sure it works this way in many countries, but the way specifically the family court system works within the United States, and there is a movie called Divorce Corp, and there's a very interesting expose on how the system works, and it's really kind of a rabbit hole. And unless you're part of that, you have no idea that it even exists. So we're going to go into discussing that. And really the GoldFish Report is about waking people up on many different things, on spirituality and also on the matrix that we're living in. We're also going to have, along the same lines, the author of The Great American Income Tax Ripoff, and his other book, his name is Ken, and his last name, he's a private citizen, so I'm going to have him explain how he announces his name. And also his other book is Identity Fraud Committed by the Government Against the People. So these are two books. We're going to have this author coming on soon. And this, again, explains exactly how we are not just debt slaves, but we are all corporations, and we are controlled by corporate commerce law. And none of us know this, and it is very, very complicated. And these are topics that will help all of us free ourselves, and that's really what we need to do. And my own personal message that I wanted to say today was that I just I wanted to say that we have a really fun New Year's GoldFish Report planned. It's going to highlight some of our bloopers and some of our favorite moments from the GoldFish Report. And we'd like for our viewers to give us suggestions moments that they liked, or topics that they thought were really very poignant, that they would like us to share and include in our special wrap up for the year. And you can go to thegoldfishreport.com and go to our contact page, and feel free to submit your suggestions too. And if we don't use your suggestion, we'll try to mention it on air. And again, we want to thank all of our viewers for watching and for following us. And this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report.